Hi, everyone. Uh, James Harden is a Brooklyn Net, and it honestly just escalated over the past 24 hours like crazy because after the game last night, he was saying some things to the media that just were not cool at all about the organization. The organization's like, get the fuck out. I don't blame him because this guy has completely given up on Houston, but oh my God. The ramp up was he's either going to Philly or he's going to Brooklyn. So here's the full trade. Okay, so I'll start with Brooklyn because this is pretty obvious why they're doing this trade. It's because they're trying to make one of the best big threes ever. It's the best big three since Steph, Clay, and KD, and now it's Harden, KD, and Kyrie, which is absolutely insane. Now, obviously, you have three very, very excellent creators, and obviously, you're going to have to distribute the ball a lot between those three. And just the personnel you're going to need to defend this offense is going to be utterly insane. I don't know how teams are going to do this because this is going to be the best offense in the league. They can do so much. Brooklyn was just like, screw it, we're going to trade all of our young guys and just all of our picks that we can. They're basically pulling the Milwaukee with Drew Holiday, where they're just like, screw it, we're going for it. Now, Milwaukee also had that Giannis thing. Brooklyn doesn't have that, but they're trying to capitalize on a window. 8 first-round picks, that's a lot. It's more like 4 because those 4 swaps, I'd say about 2 of those are guaranteed to be later picks than the Rockets, so those probably won't convert. If you win a chip, it's all worth it for sure. And if this Brooklyn team does not win a championship, that's going to be one of the most disappointing teams of all time. You've got the best offense in the league, bar none, no questions asked. Your depth is a little questionable now because you have traded, Karis LeVert, who was a 6th Man of the Year candidate, and, Jared Allen, who should be their starting center, and Taurean Prince. And now all you have left is Landry Shamet, Jeff Green, now DeAndre Jordan is like your only big man unless you want to keep running Jeff Green at the 5. And then you have Joe Harris, obviously. So other than that, you got no one. Bruce Brown, who's actually been pretty good for them as well. But otherwise, yeah, that's rough, and you're going to have to work on the open market for that. But, I mean, they're going to be the prime buyout market spot because a lot of people are going to want to play for this team because they're in the East and they have the best big three in the league. And that goes without saying for sure. So Brooklyn, I completely understand why you're doing this trade. You're giving up a haul to do it. I don't blame you at all. But with what's going on around this team right now, because you do have that ego factor, because, Kyrie has some weird situation going on with him right now. I don't know what's going on with him. He might not even be on the team soon. And then you have James Harden being a little bit of a dick the past month to the Rockets, but that might change now that he's on the team that he wanted to get traded to. And then obviously, how will all those players gel with their play styles? And I think they'll be fine, but honestly, that could be a factor, but they're just so damn talented. So I'm going to look at the Rockets now. And my thing with the Rockets is I do like this trade for them a lot. I mean, you can't be like 8 first-round picks sucks as a return. It doesn't. It is a fantastic return no matter what. But I don't like them getting Victor Oladipo. I don't. I'd rather them get Karis LeVert and Jared Allen than Victor Oladipo. And I honestly would rather have Karis LeVert than Victor Oladipo at this current time. Because Oladipo is about to turn 29, I think, and Karis LeVert, I think, is 25, 26. And Victor Oladipo is a free agent soon. Not getting Karis and potentially losing Oladipo in free agency to a team like the Miami Heat, who've been rumored for him for so long, that's a huge deal. And I know you're trying to stay competitive, but him and John Wall as a backcourt, that's really good. But that is such an injury-prone backcourt. I don't know how that's going to go. And honestly, their team is still going to be competitive, obviously, but not to the extent as with James Harden. If I were the Rockets, since you're, piling in on all these first-round picks, I'd just commit to the rebuild, honestly, and, get Karis LeVert and Jared Allen. I'm very disappointed they didn't manage to get Jared Allen in this trade, and they just let him go to Cleveland. Like, that kind of disappoints me because I think him and Christian Wood as a front court would be so damn fun. I don't know, man. It's just kind of interesting to me that They vowed to go with Victor Oladipo. Now, if you re-sign him, then yeah, this trade is way better in this eyes. But if he leaves in free agency, I mean, it's not that great from that viewpoint then, if you ask me. But yeah, if you do re-sign him, and you still have those 8 first-round picks potentially, then yes, obviously this trade is a haul. The first-round picks alone make this trade, and so it can't be a bad return. I would have vowed for Karras and Allen over Oladipo, but that's just me. All in all, the Rockets apparently were pushing for Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and Tyrese Maxey from the Sixers. I would rather have had that than what they got in the Nets return, but I mean, you can't go wrong with 8 first-round picks. And the Sixers seemed like they didn't want to do it because they didn't want to give up Maxey or Thybulle. I don't really know, but he's a Brooklyn Net now. So that's that. Now, I want to switch over to the other 2 teams really quick because Victor Oladipo got traded in this deal, and that just came completely out of nowhere. I did not see that coming at all. I thought he was going to get traded this season, for sure. But I didn't expect it to be to Houston in the James Harden trade. Now, what I have to do right now is give a big up to the Pacers because, my God, getting Karis LeVert for Victor Oladipo mid-season is a steal, if you ask me. I thought he was going to leave in free agency, and all signs pointed to him doing that. He managed to trade him for Karis LeVert, who is an up-and-coming stud player, also getting a second-round pick in return. That is a great return for Victor Oladipo to get just mid-season and in his last contract year. And honestly, he can fit right into his role perfectly fine, and he's been outperforming him this season. Good job to the Pacers because your team is looking real good with what Brogdon's doing right now, and Bonus and Turner's having a good year. So good job, Pacers. I really like what you've done there. Last team that I'll cover this for is the Cavs. You traded a first-round pick, which was going to be a late first-round pick because it's the Milwaukee Bucks pick, where now that they've extended Giannis, the pick is basically going to be like near 30. So you traded that for Jared Allen, who's a very good starting center, and Taurean Prince, who's kind of poo, but like he's wing depth, so whatever. Good on the Cavs for doing that. Now, obviously, you have a decision to make with Andre Drummond and all your other big men that you have on the roster. But honestly, this trade was too good to pass on for you, so good job to you. You're not going to be overpaying Drummond, and you can honestly trade him now if you wanted to. So nicely done. So my biggest concern for this trade is coming from the 2 teams that have the biggest interaction, which are the Rockets and the Nets. And the Nets, obviously, you're getting James Harden, and I think it'll work out. It's a no-brainer to do because you're making one of the best big threes in NBA history. And then the Rockets, you're getting 8 first-round picks potentially, so what can go wrong? So, yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the trade down below. Holy shit, man. This league is insane.